Okay, so tonight for dinner, we are doing Moroccan meatballs. This is one of my favorites as far as meatballs go. You could do spaghetti and meatballs, meatball subs. I guess you could do peppers and onions and meatballs, but personally, I really enjoy buying this Moroccan meatball sauce and making Moroccan meatballs with rice. Normally, I don't add anything extra to it, but my kids asked for corn dogs this night for dinner, so I added onions and tomatoes to the sauce to add a little extra oomph and stretch it. Um, I just found these meatballs on sale at Food Lion, so they're nothing special. They're just the plain beef ones, so they're not like Italian seasoning or anything. And I'm just taking a big onion and I'm going to like give it a rough chop. Not really a chop, but like a large dice, I guess, would be a better, like you see, I don't chop it up, I don't dice it up. It's just like large chunks of onion. I personally, once they cook down, I enjoy them. And my husband has no complaints. So if he doesn't enjoy them, he hasn't told me yet. And he eats the whole plate of food that I serve him. So now into my pan with coconut oil. I like to cook with coconut oil. So into my pan with coconut oil, I am just adding the whole bag of beef meatballs and cooking them up. They were frozen, but they cook up really quick. They're not huge meatballs. So, it cooks quickly. You can do these in the oven. You can do them in the air fryer. However you want to cook them. I am just cooking it all one pan style. And then I go ahead and throw in my big chunks of onion and, give it all a good mix and let it cook. I am seasoning with salt, pepper, and I believe garlic powder and onion powder. I pretty much put those 4 seasonings on. Yep, there you go. Onion powder, garlic powder will be next. I put those 4 seasonings on everything, just about everything. I don't know. It just that's how I flavor everything. And I usually use dried parsley too, which, if I'm not mistaken, you will see me add later on. And I just keep adjusting the heat. Don't want it to get too hot. Don't want it to burn. And now I'm adding a can of diced tomatoes, juice and all. We are a saucy family. We like sauce. I like sauce. My family happens to also, I guess, just eat a lot of sauce. As you can hear my dog going off in the background. So I am just giving everything a good mix. This is the meatball sauce that I use. It's the Moroccan meatball sauce. If you can find it in your stores, I highly recommend trying it. Yep, there you go. There's the parsley I mentioned. So we just measure with our hearts over here in my house. So you're just going to give everything a really good mix and keep mixing it up. At this point, I decided I was going to make brownies for dessert, as you can see. So here I am, literally just preparing the brownies as the box calls for. I might have actually added chocolate chips. We'll see later on in the video if I do or not. Pretty sure I do, though. I never really make a boxed mix as is. I usually add something to it or change it up in some way. That's just kind of what I do. And I'm just cracking my egg into the jar so that way I can make sure I don't get any shells into the batter. Because nobody wants eggs. Look, I tell you what, I only ever have issues cracking eggs when it's the white eggs from the grocery store. Don't know what it is. It's like the shells will half break, half won't break. I always try and buy the brown egg shells. I find they're tougher, but when they break more evenly. So I'm just spraying my pan. Usually I'd use a small square pan. I think that might have been dirty or been in use for something else because I normally don't use this little rectangle pan. Oh, no, I know what I was doing. I was trying to make them fudgy brownies. So I was using this little rectangle pan instead of my bigger square pan because I wanted to kind of make them like fudgy brownies. Because I like fudgy brownies. And if I have to do all this cooking, I'm going to make things that I like to eat and that I enjoy. Because, it gets exhausting having to cook 3 meals and a bunch of snacks for a bunch of people. I know my family's very grateful, but, it does get exhausting. Am I right? I mean, maybe I'm alone in that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm right. So now I'm adding my sauce. And I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm just talking a bunch. I did not want to have another video of just like all music like I normally do. Add a little water to your jar, shake it up. We like to use everything in this house, but in your kitchen, do what you want to do. You do what makes you happy. You want to add more veggies? Honestly, if I had more veggies, I would have added them. I would have added bell peppers. I didn't have them. That's the only reason they're not in here. But in your kitchen, you do what makes you happy. For me, this is what I'm doing. And there I'm showing you exactly which meatball sauce. They did change their packaging, so if you remember from a previous video, the jar looked a lot different. They changed their packaging. So now I am just making my basmati rice. I always do a few tablespoons of coconut oil. I don't measure it. I just put in a slap of coconut oil into my pan. 2 cups of rice, because again, I'm feeding a lot of people in my house. Don't mind all the noise in the background. My sister is being extra helpful and taking my garbage out to the garbage bin today. Okay, so I just, like I said, coconut oil and basmati rice. It cooks for 25 minutes and it's a double rate, or it's a 1 to 2 ratio. So if you do 1 cup of rice, you do 2 cups of water. I did 2 cups of rice, so I'm doing 4 cups of water. Give it a good mix, set it to boil. And then once it is boiled, you just go ahead and set it for 25 minutes. Well, you put it to low, set it for 25 minutes, then rice is perfect, fluffy, and delicious. Here's dinner. It looks amazing. And am I going to show you dessert? I'm pretty sure I'm going to show you dessert. There's dessert. Delicious. Don't forget to check my description box for all my links.